Hello and welcome to my layout in the loft of my house. It represents a chassis system line in Michigan. It has a large automotive plant, this town, which you can see on the right. As we approach towards the city centre, you can see a switching engine for the automotive plant, and the train goes by, which is a local train which will do switching when it reaches its destination. Here we go through the city centre, or at least the outskirts of the city centre. In the foreground is an industrial area, and further back is the city centre with various fast food places, shops and a large hotel and so on. The train has now left the town and is going through the countryside in front of High Trees Farm. The source of the name is obvious from the large trees in the area. Michigan is pretty flat, but a small cutting is needed here to take the line through to the flatter lands which more characterise Michigan. And here we can see wheat fields, which are so typical of the Midwest. This is the small town of Clive, or part of it, named after a friend of mine who helped build the baseboards for this part. Right, we have a train going back the other way now, he says, when it turns up. This is a train belonging to the Detroit and Mackinac Company, which has running powers over the stretch of the line. Detroit and Mackinac was formerly a large railway, but it's now a short line more or less, albeit a 200-mile long one. And it served cement plants and a large Procter & Gamble plant and various other sources of industry, and kept up a good living. Detroit and Mackinac had a curious way of putting numbers on their trains. That large egg-shaped yellow thing is the base for the numbers, and they're written on it in red. And the numbers represent the time when they got the locomotive. So that one, 1077, was obtained in October 1977. The green building is a fertilizer plant, and was a laser cut wooden kit, which I really enjoyed making, as was the house on the right. In the foreground here you can see the Yard Cafe, another laser cut wooden kit. Formerly it served the large amount of railway workers that worked around here, but nowadays it's just used by truckers mainly. Our train disappears behind the loading bays of the automotive plant, with a campsite in the background. serious action when a large coal train turns up. I guess it's summertime because the demand for coal is lower, hence we only have 3 engines on the front of this, it would normally be 4. I had originally planned to build a layout set in the Appalachian Mountains, but you can see from the amount of headroom available above the layout that mountains aren't really practical, so I switched to Michigan, which is also served by the Chessie system. Michigan being the southern part of it, at least in the Midwest, it's all fairly flat. The train is going in front of the site of the East Catton station, which at the time of filming I hadn't actually finished. It's now in place. The large red brick building behind is a furniture plant. Should I say furniture factory? The scenery is my favourite part of layout building. I particularly enjoyed all the electrics and track laying and stuff like that, particularly not the woodwork. At the moment, Clive, where we are now, is the end of the line. It will have another, I would say, about 6 metres, maybe longer, depending on how far I take it. But it's all a long way from being finished yet. I've been at it for about 3 years now, and I reckon another 3 or 4 years before it's reasonably finished. Thank you for looking.